Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for watching today. In today's video, we are going to find out if it is possible to study in Canada if you're 30 years and above. Yeah, normally a lot of international students usually be like, Milton, if you are old, when you are trying to study in Canada, you are going to be rejected. But that is not the case. Do you know why? The reason is because Ircc, which is the main portal or the main body that is going to evaluate your results, evaluate your visa process, and decides if they are giving you the visa or not. These particular people, if you decide to check the visa application requirements, you are going to notice that there is nothing like an age limit, there is nothing like an age gap. But what do you need to do in order to give you a study visa if you are 30 years, 35, 40 years, 45, or maybe even 50 years? In this video, we are going to find out. Now, let's start with the very first thing. Like I said before, Ircc does not have an age gap or an age limit visa to Canada. But what you need to understand is that the higher your age, the higher your chances of getting a refusal. Therefore, there are certain things that you need to put into place in order to guarantee you a spot or give you a study visa. Now, you need to equally understand that for the past years, since 2017, the number of people who have been getting visas are mostly from the younger generation, from 20 to 30 years or 20 to 29 years. The percentage is higher. As you move from 30 to 35, the percentage is a little higher. Then as you move from 35, 40 and above, that is how it decreases. That's from the younger generation to the older population, the percentage decreases as you move older. You understand? So if you are 30 years and someone is 40 years and you guys are going for visa, the person who is 30 years have a higher chance, but the person who is 45 years can turn things around. But if you must turn things around, then you need to start by doing this. One, program choice. Program choice is very important because when you are making a choice to study in Canada, when you especially I'm taking I want to use the name mature students, because if you are already 30 years and above, or let's assume that you are 40 years and above, you should be a mature student. There are certain schools, when you want to apply to them, they would have something called the mature student assessment. Those of you who have come through me, all right, you already know what I'm talking about, because some of you have even written an entrance exam called a mature student assessment. So I will be calling those of you from 30 to 40 years or 40 and above mature students. So if you're a mature student and you want to get a study visa to study in Canada, make sure your choice of program is what really matters. In most of my videos, I've been talking about selecting a good program. And now, how do you select a program? Most of us, we have school experience, and some of us, we have work experience. If you graduated maybe 4 years ago, and let's assume that you graduated in zoology and you have been working as an accountant ever since you graduated, then now in 2023 you decide that you want to go back to college and study maybe a 1-year diploma program because you are broke and you are avoiding costs. Because if you apply for a 2 years program, you have to show the entire tuition fee in your proof of funds before you can apply for the visa. In case you are going for a 1-year program, what you should be applying for is what is in your work experience right now, which is your accounting. You should look for accounting related programs or courses related to accounting, or some particular courses, all right, that relates to accounting that you didn't do before, or you didn't even see before, and you now want to go and study that course because now you are in accounting. In this case, you will have a lot of reasons, you will have enough points, you will think of enough reasons to convince the visa officer on why he or she should give you a study visa to Canada. So this is how you tailor it, and you don't do it with your study experience because you are not in school. Yes, you are not in school. So you need to do it with what you are still having or what you are still doing at the moment. That is the first option if you must get a study permit to study in Canada if you are a mature student. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is study gap. How does study gap affect your visa? The longer your study gap away from school, the higher your chances of your visa being rejected is higher. Now, let me put it this way. It looks like my English is not the best, but let's break it down this way. If you graduated, let's assume that you graduated in 2017 and you decide to go back to school. In 2017, you have not been working, all right? Let's say you have been home, maybe doing your side hustles. You have not been to school, you haven't done anything. Let's assume that you graduated with business administration. Your bachelor's was business administration. Then now you decide to go back to school in 2024 and you are applying for a program. Let's say you get the program and maybe business administration as well, and you are already maybe like 35 years and above. Then your chances of being rejected the visa is higher. But now you can turn it around. How do you turn it around? You can now convince the visa officer that since you stopped school, this is what you have been doing and this is what you have been doing. You try to convince them to give you a reason or to show them a reason. You have to show them a reason why they should give you the visa at this age, at this point in time that you were not in school. So study gap plays a very important aspect in your visa rejection or acceptance. The higher you are away from school, or let me say the longer your age, the higher your age and the higher the distance in which you left school, the greater are your chances of being rejected. Now, it is now left for you to find ways to convince the visa officer on why you want to go back to school. And this is where some of these things I've been singing on this YouTube channel are going to help you. If you have been studying in, let's say you have been working in an organization, right? Why not? You mention to them that though you were not in school again, you have been working. If you have not been working and you have been home, you let them see reasons with you why you want to go back to school again, and not just going back to school, why you want to study the program. It is now the program that is going to cover you up, probably help you to give you the visa. Because if the visa officer reads something like you saw something within your community, students in your community don't have school needs, or let's say they are not going to school because probably of a lack of maybe classrooms, or maybe lack of schools, or maybe your community is far from the city center for students within your community to locate a school. You want to embark and study curriculum studies so that when you return back home to Nigeria, to Africa, to Ghana, to Cameroon, you are going to open a school, a primary school or a community school within your community. And of course, you need the knowledge from curriculum studies or maybe the program you want to go and study in order to better manage this project. Though you are not going to be managing the project alone because your expertise may be low, but at least you need some knowledge so as to push the project higher. With something like this, if I'm the visa officer, I may now be convinced to give you a visa because I've seen that you want to use your knowledge to change something that will help the population, that will help the community. So these are some of the things that you need to put into consideration. Another thing that will reduce your chances of getting the visa if you are above 30 years, let's say you are getting to 40 years, 45 and above, is what we call program level. Let's assume that you applied for, you have a bachelor's degree, and instead of going to a master's degree, you are going back to a diploma or maybe a certificate program. It is not difficult, but you can get the visa, but your chances might just be reducing because of your age and because of wrong choice or maybe program level. Now you can turn it around, you can change things around and tell the visa officer that this is why I want to study the program. Though I have a bachelor's degree in this, and I am, instead of going for a master's in this, I have decided to go for a diploma in this. This is the reason why I have decided to go like this, like this, like this, like this. I hope you understand. You bring out reasons to convince the visa officer to see reasons with you, or maybe to give you a visa in such a way that if any reasonable somebody reads what you have written, it makes sense to them. So that is why you need to always pay attention to what is called the statement of purpose or your letter of explanation. It is very, very important. Remember that there is something also called career benefits. All right, I'm looking at my jotter here because there is something. Career benefits will also help you. What the program is going to help you, like I explained previously or in few minutes ago, the program career benefits is what you are going to benefit from the program. Is it that the program is going to increase your minimum wage in the company you are working in, or is it that when you are working as a normal general laborer, when you come back, you are now going to attain the position of a supervisor after you finish the program. These are some of the things you need to look into consideration. Consider them then before you go for a program if your age is above 30 and maybe above 40. All right. Then again, another reasons why you may be rejected a visa is because of issue of permanent residency. Remember, after you finish in Canada, you have to work for some time. After some time, you will now write the IELTS exam, then use your working experience, then you apply for PR, which is permanent residency. And remember, one of the requirements for PR is that the higher your age, the lesser your points. That's the higher your age, your points decreases. In fact, the age limit that IRCC wants for people to apply for PR is between 18 to 30 years. As soon as you are above 30 years, your points begins to decrease. As soon as you are above 31, your points decrease. 32, 33, 34. That's after 30 years, you lost at least 2 or 3 points. I think something like that. Then as you move towards maybe to like 40, you are already losing like 10 points. So it now becomes very difficult for you to get a permanent residency in Canada. Why is it so? Because remember, permanent residency is a point-based something. They select you according to points, and there is a particular, when there is a draw, IRCC or the government of Canada has a particular cutoff mark. Let's assume that they are selecting 470 and you are struggling to build your points maybe to 470, and because of your age it is hanging on 460, 465, and when they are selecting, they are choosing from 470, or maybe there is a particular draw and they say the minimum points that will be selected will be 468, and you see now your points is 470 and your age is burning. You understand? Because of your age now you are losing points. This is another reason why you may not, all right, have a visa. Because even if you have the visa, to get permanent residency you need to fight so hard in order to get the points to get this permanent resident. I hope you understand what I mean. So you need to fight so hard. Look into your chances and see what works best for you. I hope this video is going to help you. Till we meet again in another one.